Today we're at 35 Customs installing my KC Hilites M-Rack and my 9-light Pro 6 gravity lights on my 2017 Ford Raptor. Something I like to do before I get into the build is to take a quick inventory of all the parts and make sure that they're all there. Nothing is worse than getting halfway through a build and then realizing you're missing a part. Since we have all the parts that we need, we're going to go ahead and do a quick mock-up of the rack and install all the crossbars right now. You're going to need to do this so that you can line up all the holes correctly because you're going to be drilling through some sheet metal. As we do with everything, we try to have a clean workspace. You also want to have a clean spot for your tape to stick. We're going to be taping everything that this rack doesn't touch so we don't damage our paint. Garrett is using just your standard 3M masking tape. You can find this at just about any automotive store or automotive paint store. Now that everything is masked off, we're going to find out where our holes are going to be punched. With all of the holes marked, now we get the fun and daunting process of drilling through the metal. So we're going to be drilling 4 spots on each side. After that, clean it back up again because now we're going to put in the riv nuts. While Garrett is buttoning up the last few things with rib nuts, I'm going to get these Pro lights put together. Previously, I had them set up with 8 for my Dodge Ram, but now this one requires the 9th light, so I need to separate them, add the 9th light, and then we need to make the curvature for it to fit the actual rack. Supplied in the kit from KC are 1/2-inch spacers. These spacers allow the rack to ride just a little bit above the sheet metal so then you don't get any rubbing or your rack doesn't bounce on top of your metal when you're going down roads. Now that everything is secure up on top, we install the side lights. Now the fun wiring part comes in. Something that we found while wiring this whole thing up is there's not a lot of information out there, and we hope that with showing you this video, you guys get a little bit of an insight on what we went through and some of the things that we changed on it to make it a cleaner install. Pro 6 comes with a universal wiring harness, and this is used for just about any truck out there. However, we notice it runs pretty long for the F-150. So, being that we know what we're doing, we don't recommend this for everybody. If you're comfortable doing it, do it. So we ended up taking out a pretty healthy chunk of the wiring harness just to make a nice, really clean install. Again, if you don't know how to do this, we don't recommend it. We do. You can always pull the wiring together and zip tie it, stow it away. We opted not to do that. Now that all the M-Rack lights are on, we're going to install the 28-inch KC chase bar. The 28-inch chase bar doesn't come with brackets, but KC does have them available, so we did purchase those. However, the way we wanted it set up, it's going to require either drilling out the holes to make them a little bit larger to fit the angle that we wanted. In this case, we used a hole punch we just happen to have. If you don't have the hole punch, which I can't imagine you actually having unless you're an automotive shop, a drill would work just fine. This allows us to do a top mount install on it, which we thought was cleaner and it's easier, especially if I want to take the light off or on. Now that the wiring has all been run forward, this is where we ran into some issues. There's a lot of wires here. If you take both harnesses, not only the wire from the chase rack, but also the M-Rack, you're gonna have fitment issues coming down on the pillar. We did get the KC wire hider, which is a total game changer. However, we decided to strip down all the loom that goes over the wiring and then tuck it in for a much cleaner install. You can't see any of the wires now, and this, I think, is a cleaner and easier way to go. Now again, you can always run it down the driver's side as well with another KC wire hider. That is definitely an option. Being that I also run comms on the top, my antenna wires run down my driver's side, so that wasn't an option for us. This route we found much easier, much cleaner, and it's definitely something that you can do. The KC wire hider comes with 3M two-sided tape. It works really well, but since we opted to flip over the wire hider to fit in the abundant amount of wires we have coming down through it, we decided to use an extra strength adhesive instead. It's always smart to tape off the sections when you're using any type of adhesive. Let it get dry, give it some time, let it set in there before you really start moving it around. This gives us time to splice up all the wires, cut lengths that we need to, do a little bit of soldering, make this a clean install. I'm lucky enough that the Raptor comes with pre-installed toggle switches, so you just have to find out what you're going to mate it up to, whether it's an S-Pod or Switch Pros or something else that you might have on here. Use those instructions, wire it up correctly, make sure that your grounds are connected and that your powers are right. Overall, super happy, super stoked with the final outcome on this, and I can't wait to get it out to use it more. For more information and tech support, hit up kchilites.com.